me. Exposure can't pay my internet bills. I'm the one who organizes the back, so I know there's no other colors.
Sorry, I fell asleep halfway through explaining that.
I read that book. I'm a ghostwriter. Please say that you don't hate me. I hate saying no to people.
We do not work with people like you.
Tell me in a quiet, polite voice what your order is. I've talked about the best careers for each Enneagram type in this video here, but I've never talked about the worst kinds of jobs for each Enneagram type, and we're gonna dive into that today. It's important to know what doesn't work for you so that you can find a career that does. If you don't know who I am, hi, my name's Abby, and this is my channel all about discovering your personality so that you can be a better you. I put out new videos every Thursday, so subscribe and hit that bell notification if you wanna be in the know. Let's start with the worst job for Enneagram type 9. Holding, number 34. Defense, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Boo, that's crap.
I mean,
Wow, real good. What are you talking
I could look at the play again. I could be wrong. Look, guys, nobody be upset. Look, okay, like, help me out here. I don't like tons of people yelling at me. Why don't we just call it a tie and end the game now? Type 9s are natural mediators because they crave harmony in their inner and their outer life. So you would think that that quality would make them really good referees, but on the contrary, 9s thrive when they are an even keel, teamwork-focused environment. Put them in a polarizing career and you will not find a happy, peaceful 9. That's why I advise type 9s to avoid jobs that inherently have conflict inside them. Jobs like a referee or a divorce attorney or an investment banker. Now it's time for the worst job for Enneagram type 8s.
Hi, you've reached Mr. Smith's office. Can you please hold? Hello, Mr. Smith is currently in a meeting. Can I take a message? No, I will certainly not tell him that. Oh, because your company's practices are disgusting and inhumane, and we do not work with people like you! So go eat dirt! Mr. Smith. Yes, that was our biggest client, and I did tell them to go eat dirt. But I will not apologize because I was right. In fact, I think they're being underutilized in this position. I should have your job. Yeah, I said it. I would do a much better job.
Type 8s crave control in their careers. If they can have power in their circumstances, they can protect themselves and the people they love. That's where that craving comes from. That said, the worst kind of career for a type 8 is anywhere they're underpaid and undervalued. That could be jobs like a waiter, an admin assistant, or research assistant, basically any kind of assistant. Type 8s want to be the boss. They want to run the show, and honestly, they're probably pretty good at it. Now let's talk about the worst jobs for type 7s. Hey, I'm gonna need those customer reports updated by the end of the day.
Oh, good. I'm gonna call each of our customers and ask them all about their current interests, what they did this weekend, just so we can have all the current relevant information about them.
All I need you to do is input the current numbers into the system.
You don't want to know their favorite board games? Or what snack they're currently eating? Or what snack they ate yesterday? Or what book they couldn't put down? Or their best friend's name? Or
literally none of that is relevant. Get to work. As we all know, 7s are both dreamers and doers. They have the amazing ability to see things in 100 different ways, and they can clearly vision what the future might look like. They can motivate any team, and they just bring enthusiasm to any job. The best kind of career for a type 7 is one that allows you to do a lot of different things in a fast-paced environment, and your creativity and your flexibility is really valued. So that said, you can probably guess what kind of careers make 7s feel trapped and deprived. That's gonna be soul-sucking jobs with things that are repeated the same every day. A bus driver who isn't traveling the country but does the same route every day, sees the same people, and just like it's the same repetitive thing. Or an admin assistant. Actually, I will link my administrative job soul-sucking story right here. I used to work in an office and it was the worst thing in the world, and I think it would be the worst thing in the world for a 7, to be honest. Another terrible job for a type 7 would be something like an assembly line worker, just doing the same thing over and over and over again. That is no place for your soul, my friend. Okay, type 6s, it's your turn. Hi, yes, I'm calling again because I just wanted to remind you that I sent you an invoice a month ago and it still hasn't been paid. So if it could get paid soon? No. Exposure can't pay the rent. Exposure can't pay my internet bill. So you gotta pay me because I can't live like this. The deliverables for the tattoo shop are due tomorrow. But so are all the other deliverables for all my other clients. I have to start chugging coffee now because I am not sleeping tonight. Type 6s thrive when they feel supported and stable. When you feel like your life is built on unstable ground, that makes 6s feel super anxious. That's why freelancing and other unreliable careers can be really difficult for loyalists. You want to avoid workplaces where questions are frowned upon, where you aren't allowed to fully understand what you're doing. You also want to avoid workplaces where there's a rotating door of coworkers. Like, that's a red flag. If they have a high turnover, like, why do they have a high turnover? I don't think that's a very stable environment for a type 6. And also, I am a freelancer, and it is so stressful not knowing where your next paycheck is coming from. So yeah, unless you are just passionate about it and you want to do it, I say go for it. But if that sounds scary and terrible for your mental health, don't do it. Find a different career. Now let's talk about the worst jobs for Enneagram Type 5. Excuse me, does this come in any other colors? No. Can you check in the back and make sure? I'm the one who organizes the back, so I know there's no other colors. Not even in black? It's like a basic color for clothes. As stated earlier, there are no other colors. You are being very unhelpful. I'm correctly answering your question. Can I speak to a manager? No, I'm never shopping here again. Ever. You can keep your stupid shirt. Type 5s thrive in roles that require clear analytical minds and predictability. They want to be capable and competent in their career. And there is no other job more frustrating than retail. Customers are always right, even if they're completely wrong. You're doing a lot of extroverting and answering the same questions over and over and over again. What's the Wi-Fi password? Why doesn't this shirt come in pink? Another job that would suck for type 5s is a politician or any other type of public speaker that gets a lot of attention. I would say that would probably be unwanted attention from most type 5s. Time to talk about worst jobs for Enneagram Type 4s.
As your CPA, I'm going to be analyzing your financial data to determine the correct amount of taxable income, applicable deductions, and non-taxable expenses. Sorry, I fell asleep halfway through explaining that. Look, I realize taxes are no fun, and I understand that what you spend your money on is meaningful to you. I'm sure these trips to Paris and New York and Florence and Copenhagen, I've always wanted to go to Copenhagen, were really good for your soul, and that matters. It's just that I'm not sure you qualify that as a business expense.
Type 4s want their lives to be significant, to matter. So they thrive in careers that serve a purpose and allow them to feel special and unique. Jobs to avoid at all costs would be anything that makes you feel like a robot. I asked my husband John to give his input on this because he is a type 4 and he has worked jobs where he's felt like a robot, and this was his advice. If you find yourself in a job that is robotic, make time, prioritize time outside of work to do things that you love, that bring you joy, that make you feel alive. Now let's talk about the worst jobs for Enneagram Type 3s. I could not put this down. It is the best book I have read in years. I mean, I read it in like a day. I just could not put it down. Have you read it? You have to read it. I'm familiar with it. This author, M.K. Frisch, is going to be the next J.R.R. Tolkien, I swear! She sounds talented. No, talented is an understatement. This is going to win the Nobel Prize for Literature. I wrote it! I wrote that book! I'm a ghostwriter and I deserve all the awards, all of them! Oh my gosh, it feels so good to finally say that. I mean, I'm definitely gonna get fired and I'm gonna get in huge trouble because I just violated my NDA, but it was so worth it. More than any other type, 3s crave success and recognition in whatever career they choose. That could look like a stay-at-home mom or a surgeon. So 3s thrive in competitive work environments where there's clear measures of success. If they're stuck in a job that is negatively perceived, or even worse, not perceived at all, like totally ignored, that's gonna be really hard for 3s because they want to be challenged, they want to grow, and they want to be recognized for it. Let's talk about the worst jobs for Enneagram Type 2s. Oh, you did cheer and lacrosse. So involved. I did a couple sports in high school too. Now, looking over your application, I just have to say you are an amazing student and human, and anyone would be lucky to have you in their program. See, the thing is, Yale instructs us to only accept people with a 4.2 GPA or higher. And while your GPA is very good and you did straight A's and so good, there weren't enough AP classes to get you over that mark. And so you're just not Yale caliber. I'm so sorry. Please say that you don't hate me. I hate saying no to people, and unfortunately, I have to. And I hate it. You know what? I do know someone who used to be on Lori Laughlin's team. I could make a couple calls for you. But we have to keep it, on the DL. Do you row? Twos are highly skilled at interpersonal relationships and building community. They've spent their entire lives learning how to intuitively read a room and help other people shine. So I would avoid jobs where you're constantly letting people down. If you're a college admissions officer, you're gonna be saying no way more than you're gonna be saying yes. Twos want to deliver good news and be appreciated for their work. Last but not least, let's talk about the worst jobs for Enneagram Type 1. Is it good? Oh, it's too sweet. Here, give it back. I'll remake it. No, I would never dream of charging you for something that I made imperfectly. You're not paying for imperfection. I won't allow it. I can't hear anybody when you're all talking at once. So this is what we're gonna do. We're all gonna form an orderly line from here to the door, and then you're going to, one at a time, tell me in a quiet, polite voice what your order is. I don't think you're listening to me. Everyone put your hands in the sky if you're listening to me. Look at me, I want your eyes. Type 1s are detail-oriented people who are fantastic at leadership and organization. They long to be good in all things. So difficult jobs for 1s would be things where the goal is constantly shifting and there's not like clear tasks and clear measures of success because they won't know if they're doing a good job, and that's very important to Type 1. Jobs where things are constantly shifting could look like a bartender, but it could also look like a grade school music teacher or an actor. Type 1s will just feel more secure when they're working with a set schedule and clear responsibilities. Click here if you want to watch the worst things to say to each Enneagram type and what to say to them, and click here if you want to watch what YouTube thinks you'll like. They're usually pretty spot on. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a lovely day.